Amazon just released 2 new tablets. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at the new Fire HD8, and we're going to compare that to the new Fire HD8 Plus. I believe this is the 9th generation. The Plus version is currently $110, and the regular version is $90. So in today's video, let's try to figure out what the differences are. And if you're trying to decide between these two, by the end of this video, I'm going to pick out which one I would buy. I'll leave a link in the description below with current pricing and more information on both of these. So with the regular Fire HD8, you're only going to get 2 GB of RAM. Both of these, you get 32 GB or 64 GB. You're also going to get the same exact colors, white, blue, plum. Now supposedly this new Fire HD8 is 30% faster. You're going to get the same 2 GHz quad-core processor and the regular and Plus version. You're also going to get USB-C on both of these. So first, let's take a look at the Fire HD8 Plus. So when I ordered this, I went ahead and got the bundle that came with the wireless charging dock. Besides wireless charging, this does have 3 GB of RAM. Obviously, it has Alexa. So you have this in the dock. It switches to show mode, so you can use Alexa hands-free. You also have USB-C charging now with a faster 9-watt charger. I'm not sure why they didn't improve the resolution on the screen, but it's still 1280 by 800. It's got a micro SD slot up to 1 TB, dual band AC Wi-Fi, front and rear cameras, and this also has Dolby Atmos. Quick start guide and stuff to do with Alexa. USB-C charger plus your 9-watt charging brick. What? Yo, what is this? Oh boy. Okay, so it looks like if you like your bezels thick, I mean real thick, you'll love this tablet. Here's a quick size comparison of the previous Fire HD8. It's a little bit shorter and just a hair wider. So the home screen is gonna look pretty similar to all the other Fire HDs out there. Typical settings in your notification shade, such as Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, airplane mode, blue shade, auto rotate, do not disturb, smart home, and low power mode. Surprisingly, you've got almost 25 GB available out of the 32 GB storage. It looks like there's already an update to Fire OS 7.3.1.4. So I guess we'll go ahead and do that and then come back and take a look. So now let's take a look at the Fire HD8. It also says it has 2 times the storage. You can get 32 GB or 64 GB, and it comes in the same 5 colors as the Plus version. We've got the 32 GB version here. This also has 2 GB of RAM. Obviously from the box you can tell this is the white version. It takes a micro SD card up to 1 TB. Screen resolution is 1280 by 800. Dual band AC Wi-Fi. Front and rear cameras, and Dolby Atmos. Quick start guide and welcome information. The good thing is this does have USB-C charging, and it looks like you've got the same exact charging brick as the last generation. Obviously they wanted to have a lot bigger bezel. Same screen resolution as last year, 1280 by 800. Identical storage space as the Plus version. So you can see these are basically identical tablets. So you've got 2 speakers on the top of the tablets. Rear facing cameras in the same location. All your buttons and ports are there on the right hand side if you're holding it in landscape mode. You've got your headphone jack, USB-C charging port, and power and volume buttons. Micro SD card slot there on the bottom, and nothing on the opposite side. So I think overall I like the build quality on the back of these. It's that same matte plastic finish that they've had on the previous generations, which looks really good in person. I think if they just would have slimmed the bezels down, it would have looked a little more modern. But I guess it is what it is. Amazon usually doesn't do anything drastic with their tablets for some reason. Could you imagine if Amazon made a Pro version? And I'm not talking like Walmart On Pro to compete against like iPads or even Samsung. You got the same identical layouts on the home screen. All of your apps are on the home screen. Then you've got books, video, games and apps. You've got the shop, music, Audible, and newsstand. Then if you move left of the home screen, that's sort of your recommended apps, books, pretty much all of your content that Amazon thinks you might like. The software is pretty much the same. Let's go ahead and test out some videos and see if they're using the same exact speakers. Apparently they still don't allow you to get YouTube through their app store, which is kind of weird because now you can get YouTube on the Fire TV. Graphic settings with medium frame rates. I didn't have any problems while playing and everything seemed to look nice and smooth without any issues. The grass and textures seem to load pretty quick as well, unlike some cheap devices where there'll be like black areas until you get closer and then Okay, not super loud, but definitely sounds alright. So my first impressions of the TCL 10L is that if you want a budget device for gaming, or if you want one of the few budget devices that actually plays full HD on apps like Netflix, not to mention a camera that is pretty good as well, then it's a no-brainer. This is definitely a good choice for the money you're paying. I think with this being their first budget device under the TCL brand, Okay, so yeah, I'm pretty sure they're exactly the same. So on the Netflix app, it says that it plays HD. I could have swore for 720p, it said SD, or standard definition. Obviously, you're only gonna get 720p resolution on YouTube videos. When it comes to the displays, they're identical. I don't know, just opening apps, these still feel identical. So not too much of a difference for that 1 GB extra of RAM yet. Alright, now I want to test out some games and see if you can tell a difference between the Plus and the regular Fire HD8. Okay, in case you didn't realize, PUBG Mobile is now available directly on Fire tablets from the Amazon App Store. And not only does it play pretty good on these two tablets, but they both use HD graphics settings with high frame rates. That's really good for this price range. Both of them play Asphalt 9 pretty good as well, without too much hesitation or choppiness. Here's a little more game footage just to give you an idea of what it looks like. The other thing I wish they would have done is put the power and volume buttons along the top side, so that way I could use telescopic controllers like the iPega 9083S. Otherwise, while you're playing, it keeps hitting the power and volume buttons. The photos on here look okay. I mean, you don't get a lot of detail, but it gets really confusing on whether you're in landscape mode or portrait. You would think this is portrait, right? But look at this, it puts it in landscape. Okay, so that looks right on there as vertical. Okay, there's something weird going on with this one. I have no idea what. I'll go ahead and show you a few samples of photos and video just to give you an idea of what to expect. Now I'm sure most of you already know Fire tablet cameras are not that great, just like a lot of other tablets I've tested, but if you had to use them in a pinch, they would work for anything that doesn't need to be high quality. Oh, and definitely don't use these for video calls like Zoom. I would just use your cell phone. So my first impressions of the two new Fire HD8 tablets is surprisingly good, except those bezels. They look pretty bad. But performance-wise, I think these are one more baby step in the right direction. I don't think you could go wrong with either of these tablets, considering the price. But because they're so close in performance, I can only see one reason to get the more expensive Plus version, and that would be if you want wireless charging. So I've got to say the wireless charging dock actually looks pretty nice. And if you're going to use this in a kitchen, it actually works really good as a stand. So for me, I think if I had to choose between these two tablets, I would probably go with the Plus version, mainly for the wireless charging, but also down the road, you just never know when you're going to need an extra gigabyte of RAM. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.